Well, according to Raoul Paul, he does believe bottom is it. He does believe that if you look at what has happened, right, with all the collapses, the biggest one has to be Three Arrows Capital, which caused a domino effect on everything else out there, right? After that, right, now things seem to have stabilized, right? We're not hearing about any more exchanges or lending companies or VCs or hedge funds collapsing, right? So that probably was our low point, right? And if you look at some of these returns since then, Bitcoin up 24%, ETH up 71%, and many others. He didn't mention Matic. Matic is up like almost 200% in a month. It's insane. The bounce back right now, right? So he believes that the bottom is in, and he also mentions about rising volume in ETH for NFTs, right? That's something that I normally don't look at, but it's kind of true. You're looking at some of these popular NFTs starting to sell once again for high prices. So yeah, bottom probably was at 17,000, and bottom's probably in. All right. So so that is from Raoul Paul, and of course, if you look at other things that measure bottom, there's just so many of these charts, right? Here's one that's looking at a Fibonacci level, 2.618 Fibonacci level, which is the black line here. And you can see back in 2018, Bitcoin hit that line. In 2020, March of 2020, the COVID crash, Bitcoin hit that line, right? And this even measures the crash that we had in 2021, right? Around that May, June timeframe, Bitcoin hit that line, and where we are, we're at that line, right? So there's a lot of, there's a lot of models and indicators like this that's also measuring Bitcoin's bottom, and they all indicate that we did hit bottom. Here's another one, right? Moving average, 200 monthly average, and do we hit that bottom? Yes, we have hit that bottom. So you put all this together and you look at what's happening. We're definitely having a rally since that 17K bottom, right? And then you look at all the liquidations that's been happening with these big firms, seems to have stopped. You still have all these great metrics and models that show that we have hit previous levels of previous bottoms, right? And there's still a plethora of fundamental news about network addresses, about holders, about adoption, Lightning Network, hash rate, all these things. They're still going upwards, all-time highs, in fact, for many of them, right? You put it all together, well, one would conclude that we have seen bottom, right? And we are now in recovery mode. Now, you can't be 100% sure, and I've said this many, many times, when we had those massive crashes before, we had those massive, dips, right, to a very low level. You don't know if that's actually bottom until enough time has passed and until the price has gone up significantly where you say, okay, now it's pretty obvious that that was bottom, right? Just like in the COVID crash when Bitcoin hit 3,800 and we start coming up to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, many people were calling, oh, we had to go to 1,000 or something like that. But by the time we recovered up to 10,000 plus, I think people said, okay, concluded that was bottom. Although some called, us to crash back down to 3,000s. Same thing in 2018. When we hit that 3,000 bottom and we kind of hovered between 3, 4, 5,000, there's guys that kept claiming due to hyperwave or whatever, we're going to go down to 1,000. And then finally, when we recover to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, 20,000, okay, now we can conclude that's bottom, right? So it's one of those things, even though everything is telling us that was bottom, the 17K, but we're not 100% sure. It may be a slow, steady recovery upwards like what we're seeing, right? But until we get back up to 40, 50, $60,000, there will always be people that say, well, that wasn't the bottom, we're going to go down more, right? But at some point, we will finally conclude that that is bottom. But we just don't know at that time, right? At this time. So we just have to wait it out. But with all that said, how do you handle these situations? Do you have to time the bottom before you buy in? No, you don't have to. That's the whole point of DCA, right? You don't have to try to guess. There's way too many people that are trying to guess. And when they guess, they lose out, right? I've made so many videos recently about chasing bottoms, not in a dirty way, but in terms of chasing the bottom before buying in. And so many people lose out on the tremendous gains by trying to do that rather than just setting a schedule and DCing or buying the dip. That's the true way to win it.
If you are new to the space and you're looking to buy your very first Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other crypto, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on Best Crypto Exchanges. This will give you a list of all the major exchanges out there to choose from.